A lot of people look at congestion pricing and they say, why should the city be making money off of penalizing people? Used to be you could park in the street for free, you could drive in the street for free. Why is it now that you have to pay these things for these things that used to be free? And, I can understand why people are looking at it that way because everything has become so much more expensive. And the question becomes, why is the government also jumping in and taxing things that used to be free? But honestly, that's not the right way to look at it. The fact is, for people who live in lower Manhattan, we live with a blight that's people driving in from outside and imposing all kinds of harm on us. There's the noise, the injuries, the death, the soot, but probably the things that annoys people most day in and day out is the delay. The fact is, here in New York City, we're famous for being businesslike, having places to go, people to see, right? There is nothing New Yorkers cannot stand more than the congestion that comes from people who just drive in to lower Manhattan because they don't have anything better to do, or maybe they want to bring their friend and drop them off at the Blue Navy store and just stay double parked outside while someone runs in to go shopping or something like that, and everyone's trying to get through. We just can't afford it. This is not a location with a giant parking lot, okay? And we don't want our neighborhoods in Manhattan south of 59th Street to be like a giant parking lot. And there's too many people getting injured and killed by unnecessary driving in southern Manhattan. And the only fair way to allocate the scarce public resource of road space is to charge for it. It's just the only fair way to do it. What are you going to do? Go back to like the 1970s when there was a gas crisis, an oil crisis? And I remember, depending on whether your license plate had an odd number or an even number on the last digit, would mean whether or not you'd be able to buy gas that day. Well, should we ration lower Manhattan so that you can only come in on an odd or even numbered day depending on your license plate? Well, wouldn't that be ridiculous? No, we should limit it to people who feel that they have enough of a reason to come here that they're ready to pay for it. And the reason that's fair is because you can easily quantify the burdens that each extra vehicle mile traveled imposes on everyone else in the city. You can calculate it as lost time, being stuck in traffic. You can calculate it as increased asthma rates and other types of sickness caused by the soot. You can calculate it by the amount of added noise burden, which is shown to be a major public health problem when you have such intense traffic as we have here in New York City. And of course, there's the cost of maintaining the roads, which is so much higher than people realize because we have so much of our infrastructure underneath the roads here in New York City. We don't just have, gravel and cement under our blacktop the way you have in most places. We have all of our electrical service. We have our fresh water and sewerage. We have IT infrastructure. We have gas. We have trains, subway trains, and commuter lines underneath our roadways. We have so much underneath our roads that every time a car passes over it, these are fragile roads because underneath it we have all of this infrastructure. They're constantly being dug up. It's very expensive to do that because we need to station a bunch of people with flags every time there's a construction site. It slows everything else down too. It's like, in this environment, it's really problematic to have unnecessary traffic, and it imposes a lot of costs. And those are the reasons why we have to start charging for something we should have been charging for since the beginning.